Dictionaries are an ordered set of key and value pairs. We create dictionaries by using curly braces, and they contain key and value combination, and we separate the key from the value by using a colon, and we separate one key value combination from another by using a comma. Let's create a simple dictionary. Let's say it has key 1 colon, and the value will be, let's say, value 1. Then let's have another key and value combo, so key 2 colon value 2. So this is an example of a dictionary. We enclose the key and value combination in a curly brace, and we have our key colon value. We use a colon, key and value, and we separate one key and value combination from another by using a comma. And if we want to add more key and value combinations, we can do that. So key 3 and then value 3. And we can save this dictionary in a variable, any variable that you want. Let's say dictionary new is equal to this, and we can call our dictionary object, let's say dictionary new, and we have our dictionary key 1 and value 1, key 2 value 2, and key 3 and value 3. And once we have a dictionary, we look at the values by using the keys. So we can only access these values by referring or by looking up the keys. For instance, if I want to find out this value for my key 1, all I have to say is I have my dictionary object, and then we'll index the first key, key 1. So that will give me value 1. That will give us the value. Similarly, if I want to find out the value for our key 3, we can simply say our dictionary object and then index key 3, and that will give us the value 3. So here we used strings for both key and value, but our values can be of any data type. They can be integers, strings, or even lists, tuples, anything. They can be of any data type. However, there is more restriction on our keys. Our keys can mainly be either integers or strings, or a few more data types, but they cannot be of any data type. There is more restriction on our key. So we have to remember that. Let's create another dictionary object. Let's say for our first key, we'll just say 1, and for our first value, let's say 23. For our second key, let's say 2, and for our value, we'll use a string. Let's call it string value. For our third key and value combo, let's say name, and for value, we'll pass a list of names. Let's say Joe, Jane, and Smith. Let's add one more key and value combination. Let's say key 4, and for value, let's use a list containing, let's say person, 5, 8, 13. Okay, that should be good. And let's save this in a variable called mixed dictionary for mixed data type for our keys and values. And similar to the other data types, there we can use the length function on our dictionary. So in this case, the length will be, so key and value pair will be one length. So this will be a length of 4. And if we call our mixed dictionary object, and if we want to find out the value for our value for our key 3, so this is the third key, right? We can say our dictionary object mixed dictionary, then we index the key. Remember, we can only access the values from the key, so we index the key, and that will give us the value. So in this case, the value is a list containing 3 name strings: Joe, Jane, and Smith. We can further access any of the strings by indexing it. So this will be index 0, 1, and 2. So if I want to access Smith, all I have to do is further index it. So name and then pass index 2. Run it. So we have Smith. We can also take this further. You see the result is a string, and we can say type, we can pass the type on our object, and we'll see that it's a string. So all the methods that apply on a string, we can use it. Okay, so if we run it again, we have Smith, and we can use methods that we can apply on strings. For instance, we can change this to, we can check if our string is upper or lower, and so on. We can do that. Similarly, if we want to access Joe, all we have to do is pass the index 0. So that's how we can do it. And if I want to index, if I want to find out the values for key 4, all we have to do is we have our dictionary object, and then pass the index, pass the key as an index. So in this case, it's key 4, and that will give us a list containing these values. We can take this further, and then if we want to find out the value 8, we can pass its index. So 8 is at index 2. So at index 2, and that will give us 8. So this is an integer. If we want to find out the type of this object, it's an integer, and methods that we can apply on integers, we can use it. For instance, we can add numbers to it. Let's say we can add +5 or 8, 16, and so on. Right? Same as what we did here. So when we create dictionaries, we have key and value combinations, and usually we cannot have duplicate keys. If you have duplicate keys, only the last key and value combination will be used. So for instance, if I create another dictionary, and let's duplicate one of the keys. Let's say let's duplicate key 1 and give it a different value. Let's say value 4. In this case, you see here we have duplicated the key 1 here, and then we have the same key 1 here. So if we have duplicate keys, only the last key and value combination will be used. Okay, so if I say dictionary new and then key 1, so the value I get will be value 4, not value 1. Value 4. So that's important to remember. And another thing about dictionaries is that if we assign a new value to our key, so the latest value will be used. For instance, here I have key 1, value 1, right? So if I call dictionary new now, I have key 1 value now, value 1. If I change this value to a different value, let's say value 8, and call my dictionary object, key 1 will have our new value, which is value 8. Great. So this is a general introduction to dictionaries, and in the next lecture we'll continue looking at dictionaries and some of the methods that dictionaries have. Thank you, everyone. Hey everyone, and welcome to the lecture on sets in Python. A set